when you were standing there, I thought you were taking a piss. Like, it looked like this low. Actually, he is that tall. Yeah, I'm kind of new to this, and like, I really love poetry, and I've been into it for a while. But like, whenever I get up on stage, like, I can feel it now. My knees are going. My knees just start rattling. My teeth just, they're sort of chattering, and my hands shaking like I've been firing a Gatling, and I get these butterflies inside. So I tell them to hide, and I would let them out, but I'm not really sure how, so I just have to let them flutter about for now. And then the first words kind of stutter and stumble out of my mind, mouth and me, and then the second follows slightly more convincingly. And then I realise everybody's looking at me. And then I start speaking confidently as my body comfortably breathes in and out, providing some form of stability for the thoughts coming out of my mouth, like I've got friends. Friends who have been inspired to create the same feeling they have felt. In short, they are inspired to inspire. So they try to climb life's ladder higher, to be seen and to be heard, but someone's having fun, removing run by run. So many I've seen trying, so many I've seen fall, and so many I've seen forced to crawl. Seemingly encaged, they bleed for minimum wage. But as skin thickens, mind weakens, their once sharp selves become battered and blunted. As they once fought to be at the top, they now fight to be, and I may be a fool, but even I can see that this will happen to me. So I psychologically prepare myself to be beaten down and get back up, to be mistreated and act like I don't give a fuck, to smile into the eyes of the people who destroy lives until I find the right time to rise. And believe me and you, when I do, this fucking world will hear my roar. It will hear me tell the stories of the heroes of minimum wage. That's why I'm constantly putting pen or pencil onto page, not just for me, but for you. So amongst those lying politicians, there's someone telling truth. So this one goes out to everyone, from pensioners to youth. To the street sweepers sweeping floors, to the nurses running wards, to the waitresses, to the KPs, to the people who work at Mackie D's. In fact, fuck it. This one goes out to everyone who's traded money for their dreams. Thank you. I can't really see any of you because of these lights, but I'm enjoying it, so we're having fun. This is a new one, so I thought, yeah, I'll come from Wales, a potentially very big gig. Try something new out. Yeah, let's hope it goes all right. I once saw a lion. I thought he looked the royal sort, but instead of running down gazelles, he looked run down to hell. On the savannah he was seated, but looked down, beaten, defeated, depleted by life. So I thought I'd ask him why. I walked over to him. I bowed to him and I got on my knees. He said, please, I ain't the king of the jungle. I'm just a working class mammal, and I don't know where you got this king thing from, because first of all, I don't see no jungle. And second, I'm sitting in the dirt just like you. I said, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to imply. He replied, hey, it's fine, you seem like a nice guy. It's just we seem to get misrepresented by those inside, those conservatives in captivity who seem to think, yeah, it should be someone's job to feed me. I said, don't worry, mate, I know what you mean. But you can't let that fill you with sorrow. And especially at times like this, when you're wondering how to make it through to tomorrow, it's easy to begin to question your morals. And I wonder how any of us working class mammals cannot be filled with doubt, especially in times like this, in such a drastic drought. He said, the problem is this, my friend. We live in such a time where people would rather point a camera at me and watch me die than just to have an anecdote at a dinner party than help me live my life. Because it's easier to put another tally on a chart, to make a pretty graph and make it look like they're winning, instead of trying to find a heart and trace those statistics to their beginning. I noticed he was sitting alone. So I asked him, where's the rest of your pride? He replied, pride. Pride. Now there's another lie. It's funny you call us a pride. Because if you want to survive, that's the first thing to be left behind. Or, to put it simply, if I want to eat, I have to feed on my fellow. I have to create contact between throat and enamel and kill another working class mammal. I have to fearlessly risk my neck. I have to fearlessly face broken bones and death. I have to fearlessly face shame and regret. Just to get another day out this body, just to feed my child. But this is what it means to be wild. And this is what it means to be free. And it means sometimes life treats you harshly, and that will make you question captivity. And you may think you want things to be easy, and you may think that's how you achieve. But who would want to run and sweat with panted breath just to feed their family? Well, not me. So maybe I'll give in all my morals and proclaim myself king of the jungle, but deep down inside, I'm just a working class man. Thanks. I'm just going to do 2 more, and then I'm going to let you see the other people that are good. Yeah. Right. It's a nice happy one about domestic violence. Yeah. Right. Hunger, greed. Want, need, nature, nurture. He never meant to hurt her. It was never meant to go further. He was born in too deep. How was he supposed to escape the streets? Influenced by a world that would guide him. He grew up with no parents to confide in. The world set a shining example. So was it his choice, or the life he was bound to? She awakes early. She creeps around the house quieter than a mouse. Slippers silence her steps. But within her grows regrets. She's made a bed, and now has to lie in it, though her bed now has a lion in it. The lion's a coward, but like most a bully, and this lion stops her from living fully. He restricts her social life, and it's no use arguing, because he's always right. And if he can't win with words, he'll win with fists. She's beaten by the same hand she once held and kissed. Her fingers rifle through a drawer of finger-painted rainbows. In this one drawer is all her hope. A drawing of mummy and daddy holding hands. She's come into contact with them, but not the way her child planned. See, there once was a beam of light in her life. But with her absence, the colour drained, the blue skies greyed. A lot of things he swore would never happen, happened, like his wife's beautiful brown eyes blackened. And his world got smaller overnight, to 4 grey walls, but he found sanctuary framed in the fridge light. And as he consumed beers consumed years, but his liver wasn't the only thing, it was rotting. It worked its way into his memories, and soon the best parts of him were forgotten. There was a rawness to his actions as captions of a past life flashed through his mind, and he tried to deny their existence, and you have to admire her persistence. It's inspirational. But bravery was her greatest flaw. See, this one time she packed her bags and headed for the door, but the spark that was once a fire inside her reminded her of what they had once been. And okay, chances of returning to that weren't strong, but she was willing to hold on to hope. So she convinced herself she could cope. A few brown eyes turned black were more than worth it if it could revive what they lacked. But she knew scars and bruised tissue wasn't the real issue. It wasn't skin deep, it was the lack of what they had once put to sleep. So what once filled her heart with love now filled it with grief. Till one night, when it escalated beyond repair, as he threw her to the ground and gripped her by the hair, and she became loose. By struggling and writhing, and ran to the kitchen and just so happened to pick up the first thing. It was a knife. And as he ran towards him, she plunged that knife deep. There was a release of breath, but it wasn't a scream. As he fell to the floor, collapsed and distraught, and summoned the strength to crawl towards her broken body. She'd pierced the left breast, and with her one last breath she said, "This hurts, but not as much as you hurt me. But I'll always love you. I hope you still love me." And before her life was released, the coward found the courage to speak. He said, "I love you." And as police broke into the room lit by the light of the moon, he saw himself for what he really was. A murderer, with blood-stained hands and in them his wife's body. Before he was tackled to the ground, he gently whispered, "I'm sorry." Hunger, greed. Want, need, nature, nurture. He never meant to hurt her. It was never meant to go further. He was born in too deep. How was he supposed to escape the streets? Influenced by a world that would guide him, he grew up with no parents to confide in. The world set a shining example. So was it his choice, or the life he was bound to? Thanks. Right, I think this is your last one from me, and then I'll get to enjoy the rest of the acts. So, okay, thanks. I've had a really nice time. It feels like it's gone really quick, but I'm having a good time. This one's going to go on for hours, though. What's this guy doing? Okay. Now, since I was a boy, I raised my eyeline to the skyline and I gazed into that sea of blue. And every time a bird flew by, I would puzzle at how it could fly and not I, so I harnessed brain power and devoted time hour by hour and studied principles of Bernoulli and drawings of Da Vinci, and I would always question, how can I fly? And I questioned that until a gaze came from your eyes, because you made me fly higher than I'd ever been. And you made me feel things I'd never dreamed, but if anybody should know it's me, things are rarely what they seem. Because you made me feel like I was flying when really I was falling. And you made me feel I was standing tall when really I was crawling. So from this new height I fell, you dropped me and I fell. And I may make a verse out of my version, but believe me, I never want to curse you as a person, because it hurts to say, but you were right about me. But it hurts even more that you're doing fine without me, because I'm really struggling to pull through without you. It's like I'm in quicksand and I'm reaching out for your hand, but you've already turned away. I mean, you've already turned the page where I still cling to the chapters that have been written and been read, and I still cling to the text that you sent me. You know, back when you and me were a we, and now it's not the case. It's like my future looks so bleak. It's like without you snoring by my side, I find it hard to sleep. And without your face facing mine at dinner time, I find it hard to eat, which to you might not seem a lot, but the thing is, I haven't forgot the pressure of your kiss. The fact that your lips is like writing in felt tips. It infects the pages behind my eyes and lips, and I just wished you to listen. Because I knew there was something missing. I knew if you knew how I felt, you wouldn't have walked away. If I could convey to you my feelings, you wouldn't look at me with dismay. You'd get back under the covers. You'd have curled up on the sofa. There'd be no plate throwing. There would be no, this is over. There would be whispers and kisses. You wouldn't be a miss, you'd be my missus. If I could explain what I was feeling, there'd be deeper breaths, there'd be deeper feelings, because I'm trying to be a better man. And I'm trying to be all I can, and not for money and not for fame, just so when you look at me, you don't feel ashamed. Because you went from saying we would last, from saying our relationship was forged and made from iron cast, to now, when we meet, you walk blindly past. And because of that, I refuse to cry over you. I refuse to put life aside for you. I refuse to deny what I know to be true. I refuse all these things. Because I can't refuse you. And now I see you starting a new life with your new life partner, whilst I still stand still, burned in the smouldering ashes of the plane crash of the disaster. And every time we meet, I feel half a man. And I question my master plan, because okay, I can't bench press 120 or run a 4-minute mile, but I never believed that mattered when to put it into your words. I was the only one who could make you smile. And even in your darkest downs and even in your deepest blues, girl, you knew how to stop the world from spinning just to spend more time with you. Can you just explain to me how his six-pack's a suitable replacement for my shoulder? Okay, his pulse may be lower, but his heart's a lot colder, so now I'm promising myself never to forget. So that one day when I'm all I can be, you'll be feeling this regret that buries deep into my heart, that threatens to tear me apart. And I know it ain't mature, but it's more than you left when you left me, when you seek the comfort of another man's arms, when you took all the love away and left only harm, when your fingers strayed from the warmth of my palm. When you took all the love away and left only harm, yes, when you seek the comfort of another man's arms. When you took all the love away and left only harm, when your fingers strayed from the warmth of my palm. When you took all the love away and left only harm. Thanks.